look, what did it take for us to get to the point of an apology? We had to threaten a lawsuit, Jesse. And by the way, we're still entertaining it. We're talking to some of the best lawyers out there that are experts in this. And as you know, these things can be very complicated. There's a lot of facts and circumstances around it. But we're not going to let this go, because you should not be able to smear 5,000 high school and college kids and then just be able to walk away with it. And the reason they felt they needed to do that, Jesse, is because if they told their audience the truth, that when gas is the most expensive it's been, flights are super expensive, that 5,000 kids decided to spend a weekend in summer traveling across the country to go hear from conservative speakers, maybe the audience of The View would think twice about all of their ideas. That's why they felt so compelled to try to smear our wonderful summit this last.
Imagine turning on your TV and seeing a heated clash that no one expected. That's exactly what happened when Sunny Hostin, one of the outspoken co-hosts of The View, found herself in the middle of a storm after conservative commentator Charlie Kirk hit the show with a jaw-dropping lawsuit worth a staggering $100 million. Yes, you heard that right, $100 million. And the drama that followed has people across the country glued to their screens now. Let's break down what really happened, why Sunny Hostin reacted the way she did, and what this means for The View, Charlie Kirk, and the future of daytime TV talk shows.
Kirk's the founder and CEO of Turning Point USA and the author of the new book, The College Scam. So, Charlie, do you accept The View's apology?
I mean, regardless of whether or not I accept it, the question is, do our students accept it? That's really what's at heart here. They went after our 5,000 students at our event there, of high school and college kids. And look, I get attacked all the time. People say false things. I'm a public figure. But when you go after 16 and 17-year-olds that travel from across the country, that then have to live for the rest of their life with a shadow over them because someone at ABC says that they might be linked.
Charlie Kirk, for those who don't know, is the founder of Turning Point USA, a conservative nonprofit that focuses on mobilizing young people in politics. He's known for his fiery debates, blunt opinions, and his willingness to go head-to-head with anyone who challenges him. On the other hand, The View has long been a hotbed of fiery exchanges, with its hosts Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, Sunny Hostin, and others regularly taking aim at conservatives. The clash between the two sides was almost inevitable, but few thought it would lead to something this explosive. So, what set all of this in motion? According to reports, Charlie Kirk decided to sue The View after repeated segments where the hosts allegedly made damaging claims about him and his organization. Kirk argues that their statements weren't just opinions, they were outright defamatory and harmful to his reputation. And when the damages were calculated, the number ballooned to a massive $100 million lawsuit.
Disgusting, gross elitism and her complete out-of-touch nature with respect to the rest of the world. Sunny Hostin goes on The View and decides now would be a great time to dump all over the so-called uneducated.
What we did not have is white women who voted about 52%, right, for Donald Trump. Uneducated white women, is my understanding. You have Latino men actually voting more for him, and you have and black men was not the story. We're not the story here because they voted almost 80% for the vice president.
Right. Just because you didn't go to college doesn't mean you're stupid, and it doesn't mean that you don't have wisdom. You can go to college and get a bunch of irrelevant facts about how men can allegedly give birth or whatever.
When this news broke, the reaction on The View was nothing short of dramatic. Sunny Hostin, who is known for being passionate and outspoken, reportedly had an on-air breakdown while addressing the lawsuit. She insisted that the show has the right to express opinions and push back against conservative voices. But at the same time, her frustration and anxiety were clear. Clips of her emotional reaction spread like wildfire on social media, sparking thousands of comments, memes, and debates. Viewers were split. Some felt Sunny Hostin was justified in defending herself and the show, arguing that freedom of speech allows people to challenge public figures like Charlie Kirk. Others believed that The View often crosses the line, turning discussions into personal attacks rather than sticking to the issues. And for Kirk's supporters, this lawsuit felt like sweet justice against a program they see as unfairly biased.
Privilege is a racist myth that is rooted in bigotry, trying to classify people based on their skin color. If you are a racist, you have something to apologize for. If you're a white person who is not a racist, you have nothing to apologize for. And anyone who makes you apologize just based on the color of their skin, they're the racist and you're not.
Turning Point conference, the were in the front of out there in front of the conference with anti-Semitic slurs, and
I think it's important that every single person that attended that Turning Point, every Republican speak up against the swastikas, against the flags that were waved.
You let them in.
President, open your
You let them in and you knew what they were.
Right.
So you are...
What makes this situation even more interesting is how it exposes the tension between two powerful forces in American media. On one side, you have Charlie Kirk, representing a younger, aggressive brand of conservative politics. On the other, The View represents mainstream daytime television, where millions tune in daily for a mix of news, gossip, and heated debate. These two worlds clashing in court is like watching a cultural earthquake unfold in real time. Now, let's talk about Sunny Hostin's breakdown a little more closely. Reports say she raised her voice, appeared visibly shaken, and at one point even suggested that lawsuits like this could silence free press and intimidate women on television. Her co-hosts tried to back her up, with Whoopi Goldberg quickly jumping in to say the show has faced lawsuits before and survived. But it was clear Sunny took this one personally. To her, this wasn't just about legal jargon, it was about being under attack for speaking her truth.
The final point I'll say is this, is Sunny, do you guys thought that abortion was going to be this like quasi-zealot religious issue? I'm pro-life. If people in the audience aren't, that's fine. What I'm saying though, what gives me promise, and I think we can all agree on this, is that there are other issues that should animate and drive our politics other than this very divisive one. And I was really encouraged by that, Megan. Very encouraged, because the media was forcing this as an up or down vote on a referendum on a highly complicated, very emotional, very personal issue. And it turned out the American people were like, yeah, actually, these other 6 things matter more.
Critics, however, pointed out that there's a difference between expressing an opinion and making claims that could harm someone's reputation. If a court agrees with Kirk, it could set a precedent that shakes daytime television to its core. Talk shows like The View thrive on controversy and sharp commentary. But if hosts constantly have to worry about multi-million-dollar lawsuits, the tone of these shows could change forever. The big question now is, does Charlie Kirk have a strong case? Legal experts are divided. Some say defamation lawsuits are notoriously hard to win, especially when they involve public figures like Kirk. Others argue that if Kirk can prove the hosts knowingly made false statements with malicious intent, he could walk away with a major victory and a massive payout.
Nothing else to talk about. Maybe you should get the lawyer that worked on that Covington Catholic school case. What was that, a $200 million settlement? I think, Charlie, you could use the money, and your students definitely could too.
Now we begin with a shocking apology just a short time ago from the ladies of The View to Turning Point USA. A war of words broke out after the conservative group was rallying the next generation of voters at its youth summit in Tampa, Florida this weekend. And the liberal panel just couldn't help themselves. The group sent a scathing cease and desist letter after hosts on The View suggested that Turning Point had embraced neo-Nazis.
Meanwhile, Sunny Hostin's emotional response has made her the center of attention. Some fans praised her for showing raw honesty, saying it takes courage to react in real time to such shocking news. Others criticized her for letting her emotions get the better of her, arguing that breaking down only gives Kirk more ammunition. What no one can deny is that this lawsuit has lit a firestorm of conversation. Social media platforms are buzzing with hashtags like #SunnyHostin, #CharlieKirk, and #TheViewLawsuit. Memes are flooding Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And, of course, both Kirk's supporters and critics are using this moment to push their political narratives.